All right, everybody, this is the Fantasy Sports Boss continuing down the line with my preseason prior to week one rankings. These are pretty much my final rankings heading into the season. I did the top 10 running backs. Make sure you check out that video. That's a video I posted yesterday. And also, if you don't already subscribe to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit the subscribe button so you're made aware, and also the notification button so you're made aware of all the new videos. I've got everything covered on the upcoming season. So now I want to get to running backs 11 to 20. All right. So these are the next tier. So I did the top 10 prior to today, and now we're going to start with number 11. So number 11 on my list is Alvin Kamara. I've elevated Kamara to where he is, and I might even just inch him a little higher just because of the suspension not likely to happen this season unless a video emerges, which is always a threat. A video emerges of him punching that individual that got him in trouble in the first place. I do like the fact that Kamara is going to get the lion's share of work. Now, listen, this is not Drew Brees Kamara. He's not going to be catching 80 passes. Jameis Winston does not check it down anywhere near the amount of times that Drew Brees does. So I would dial back the receptions to the 40 to 50 range instead of expecting 80. But Kamara, still very capable as a runner. He's inching up there in age a little bit at 27. He's had a history of injuries, so you got to factor in the injury risk. There is an injury risk with Kamara. But I think he's going to be just fine. There's plenty of playmakers to take pressure off of the defensive line. The offensive line with New Orleans is not good. That is a concern. There are red flags with Kamara. That's why I did not put him in the top 10. You have the injuries, his age, and the offensive line is a problem, and then the receptions are going to be dialed back. But I do think that the workload itself will allow him to be a near top 10 guy, so I have him at 11. Number 12 is Leonard Fournette. I love playoff Lenny. All right, I just drafted playoff Lenny in a slow draft in one of my two big leagues yesterday. I had the second-round pick. Aaron Jones went right before, and then I scooped up playoff Lenny, and I was laughing all the way to the bank because I think he's in for another huge year. He's already caught 80-plus passes multiple times in his career. He's got very little competition. I'm not thinking Rachaad White's going to do much of anything other than maybe catch a couple of passes along the way. Like pretty much every running back on this list, Fournette does miss time with injuries, a game or two here and there. Last year, towards the end of the season, was a little more serious, but I think when he's on the field, he is a trusted outlet for Tom Brady. Fournette's going to have a big season when he's on the field and the games that he's actually playing in, so I do have him as the number 12 guy. 13, I have James Conner. I was flip-flopping him with Javonte Williams. I love the touchdown potential again with Conner. Now, obviously, asking him to repeat the insane amount of scores he had a year ago is probably asking a bit too much. But Cliff Kingsbury has made no secret and has shown throughout his coaching tenure that he loves to hand the ball off when the offense gets close to the end zone. Also, Conner will see an uptick in receptions. All right, Eno Benjamin is not going to take away enough potential workload or receptions from Conner. So Conner is a very capable receiver. He's shown that he can catch a high amount of passes going back to his college days and also with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think we're going to see a nice 40-catch run for Conner in addition to all those other numbers. But, of course, again, injuries, all these guys. Conner's injury issues are a little bit more pronounced than, let's say, a DeAndre Swift or an Aaron Jones who miss a couple of games here or there. I think Conner throughout his career has had some major injuries, so that does need to be factored in. But if you can get him in the fourth round, I think you're doing really well. All right, Javonte Williams, then I have him at 14. This is a true league winner. We all know it. There's no secret about how Javonte Williams, if Melvin Gordon gets hurt today, Javonte Williams is a top 5 back. Hands down, no questions asked. As a matter of fact, I would probably put him behind only Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, and Eckler. I would have him fourth overall. That's how much I believe in his talent. He went absolutely nuclear in his one start last season against the Kansas City Chiefs. A similar situation will unfold if Gordon does wind up getting hurt, and Gordon at his age certainly is at risk of getting injured. The problem is with Gordon on the field, and Gordon played very well. We have to be honest. He did play well last season. He's going to get his touches. It's going to be maybe not a 50-50 split, but a 60-40 in Williams' favor, as it should be. I think they'll dial back a little bit on Gordon this season. But Williams can catch the ball. He breaks tackles at an extremely high rate, one of the most pronounced backs in the league in breaking tackles. He's tough. He's got good speed. He can check every single box. Javonte Williams, other than maybe home run ability speed, he still has very impressive speed, but maybe not a pure burner. Everything else checks out. If you want to reach for him and with the notion of going big that he can win you the league, I have no problem with it. All right, number 14, I have Nick Chubb. I have Chubb a lot lower than many others. Same issue I've always had with Chubb. He doesn't play well in PPR. Kareem Hunt is still here. D'Ernest Johnson has now emerged, so you have 3 backs that are going to get touches. Deshaun Watson not being around for more than two-thirds of the season is going to result in stack boxes that Chubb is going to have to break through. He's very touchdown dependent. I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns in a Jacoby Brissett-led offense. That's the problem. So since he's so touchdown dependent, I think it's a big red flag for Chubb. I'm not going to own him on any teams. Unless you're in standard, I don't think you should either. All right. 16, I have Ezekiel Elliott. All right. You know what? Scratch that. 16, I'm going to have Chase Edmonds. I'm going to put Chase Edmonds at 16. Just because of Sony Michel getting cut, I'd rather have Edmonds over the Ezekiel Elliott. 60 catches, very much in the realm of possibility. Also could set a new rushing yard, new high in rushing yardage. You know, Myles Gaskin is still around, but I think he's just a bit player. They got rid of Michelle, so now there's goal line opportunities available. I think Raheem Mostert will get first crack at that, but let's face it, Mostert will never stay healthy. All right, so if Mostert gets hurt like we expect him to be, all of a sudden there's very little competition for Chase Edmonds to dominate. So I love Chase Edmonds. I think he's moving to that 5th round territory now. He was going in the 6th, 7th round, mostly 7th round for a while, but now he's going to go into that 5th round territory with Michelle out of the way. So I do love Chase Edmonds for sure. All right, next I have Ezekiel Elliott. You know, this is kind of a tough call. Elliott played well until the PCL injury last year. He was playing well. He scored a lot of touchdowns. He's going to get all the goal line work. This is a good Dallas offense, although the offensive line does have question marks with Tyron Smith out of the way. I don't like investing in old backs. You know that. It's more risky with Derrick Henry because he's a first-round guy as opposed to Elliott, who's going in the 4th round. So I'm a little bit more willing to swallow the risk on Elliott. He still catches the ball well, but Tony Pollard is just going to get more and more work. Elliott fights through his injury, so I can't call him an injury risk. He's out there every week, but again, another year older. His rate stats have declined 4 years in a row now. So unless I'm really desperate, I'm not chasing Ezekiel Elliott. All right, 18 we're up to. I have Travis Etienne as 18. I've dulled a little bit on Etienne. James Robinson's going to be ready to go. Robinson's excellent in pass protection. Doug Peterson loves committee backs. He's not going to force feed Etienne. Etienne is going to catch a ton of passes, so he's going to play really well in PPR. He's not going to get goal line work. That's going to be Robinson. He may not even be in on every 3rd down because James Robinson's excellent in pass protection. And Robinson, don't forget, is a very good runner himself. But coming back from a devastating injury, you know, that calls into question his fitness level. But he will be ready in week 1. I think we can, you know, be a little bit more cautious now with Etienne. I don't think he's going to be as good as everybody thinks he's going to be on a pure numbers basis. He's an excellent player, very explosive, can take it to the house anytime he touches the ball. And yes, the Jaguars will be playing from behind, and that's going to play into Etienne's strength as a pass receiver. So that is something I definitely like about Etienne. I would not be surprised if he becomes a top 12 guy this season. I'm just not liking that, you know, late 3rd round realm he's now moving into. All right, 19, I have Rashad Penny. I've come around on him a little bit. I've been a big critic of Penny because he's always hurt, doesn't catch the football. But Kenneth Walker's out. Penny's going to have a long leash to get as many touches as he can. I mean, he went absolutely bonkers, rushing for 130 yards or more in 4 of his last 5 last year. That's the definition of a league winner. So I'm willing to ride with Penny in his 8th round draft class for now to see where it goes. Expectations will be in check. I'm not going to expect any miracles out of the guy, but I think as a pure runner, he's extremely explosive. He's a much better value than Nick Chubb. He has the same challenges that Chubb has, less competition for touches. Penny is the better value. And then finally, 20, I have David Montgomery. Oh, man, I really don't want to own Montgomery anywhere. He's so boring. It's just like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's the best way to describe him. Khalil Herbert is the much more explosive player. He's going to push for more playing time. Could be a 60-40, 50-50 split this season. That's a bummer for Montgomery. The offensive line's terrible. The offense as a whole is terrible. I'm not in on Montgomery. I don't really think you should be either. All right, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to post I might go another 10 deep on running backs, but I'm going to do the top 10 receivers tomorrow or maybe later today. And, of course, all the cut down information, short videos on that as we go along. All right, we'll talk soon, everybody. Take care.